because we operate from a platform of trust, we need to ensure that moms from Chennai to Chandigarh know exactly that what they're feeding their child is local, is fresh, is made keeping in mind the child's developmental milestones. I mean, we were discussing, Isabel and I earlier, but we've all heard from our pediatricians and our nutritionists, right, that textures matter so much in child development. I mean, who would have thought, right? So I'm excited about this panel, waiting to learn more, and happy to share some of the experiences from my personal journey as a mom, as a new mom, and also from the questions that we hear, hundreds of thousands of questions we get from the Baby Chakra community as well. Thanks.
Ma'am, I have a question which has come to us from one of our Baby Chakra moms, which is what exactly is the definition of nutritious food?
Nutritious food. So when we go and teach kids in school, we give them this example, pants and your shirt. No, and we have ID card also. Me, a uniform is just not a uniform. Like we say that, okay, fine, shirt and pant, uniform is over. No, it consists of so many things which makes a complete uniform. Similarly, when we talk about nutritionally balanced food or a good nutrition, what it is like, there are basic five food groups. Now we have various theories which give sometimes they say seven, sometimes they say eight, but a square meal or I think five food groups that we talk about, which includes all your important nutrients. So when we start about it, your first would be your carbs, which like energy giving foods like your carbs and all, proteins, vitamins and minerals, healthy fats and water. Yes, water is also one of the most important nutrient. So when all these nutrients together form
But I think, in terms of what is nutrition, um, I think as Ma'am pointed out, we have such an amazing legacy in India of amazing superfoods that we have around us. And I'm really excited about listening and hearing about more recipes that we can make in our kitchen that actually leverage and harness the power of these superfoods. And as our child grows, how what format to feed them in is something I'd be really curious to know about as well.
So that was very informative. Ma'am, I have a question here. Like Isabel ma'am said, that the mode of cooking is actually very important. I mean, traditionally we are from a culture where cooking or perhaps overcooking is how we take things ahead. So how would you suggest what should be the mode of cooking for our children?
I absolutely agree with ma'am when she says the way we cook is important. See, when do we start introducing food to our kids? All right. Now, our previous sessions we've spoken a lot about breastfeeding and all that. So, first 6 months breastfeeding is something that we all want, we all promote, and 6 months onwards, what we start is known as complementary feeding. Okay, weaning feed is not a word anymore accepted by WHO. We call it complementary feeding. Why? Because it's going to complement the breastfeed that already is going on for the child, right? So, yes, when we start giving complementary feeds to our children, not all mothers are aware about standardization or the texture. Now, by then, babies have developed taste buds. They understand the taste. Ubalo, 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 just overboil it, boil it, crush it. How many of you all are actually going to put it in your mouth? Forget eating, even tasting. Are we going to do it? Just have a look at the food. Because of overcooking, overboiling, of course, nutrients and everything, which is the most important thing, but I don't expect a mother does not understand or who has not attended such sessions, but look at the color of food. It's all gone. There is no aesthetic value to your food. And you think a 6 months, 7 months, 8 month old child is dumb, they don't understand all this. No, they're very smart. They see food, they understand, they want to feel the texture of food, right? So we cannot afford to give them boring food at all, right? Okay, overboiling, overcooking, there are certain vitamins and minerals which are going to get absolutely killed because we are evaporating them by heating them too much. Yes, at such times we have experts who come to our help and make equipments which are going to help mother out. But this is one thing. Second thing is consistency. If we are not aware, either we end up making food too diluted or we make food too concentrated. Now both are again not good. Diluted food, if you give your child like one whole bowl full of some vegetable puree or soup you made, you felt very good. Oh my god, my child had a whole bowl of it. But that was hardly 20% of nutrient which was required, the rest was all water. Have we done any good to our kid? No. So then we feel, we go to a pediatrician or we go to a nutritionist saying that I give him 6 meals a day or 5 meals a day, still my baby is not gaining weight. Baby keeps falling ill often. So we need to evaluate that concentration, method of cooking, hygiene, which is again most important. The utensils in which you are cooking, the place in which, like a very simple thing like hand hygiene, utensils from outside. But what if we are not maintaining hygiene? A simple thing like these are very important things that just learning about nutrition cooking method or concentration of food or hygiene about it, we are not going to do any good to our kids. So it is extremely important that you use cooking methods. Now at this age, we are not going to give kids which is going to be deep fried food or anything of that sort, right? We're not even going to shallow fry food and give it to them. Because this complementary feeding session, when it starts, the consistency is not something that we are going to give them. So that's 6 months to 1 year till the time they have normal food from the family pot. It's hygienic. It is extremely important. Yeah. Yeah, storage, as she said, because if at all, see, it's not working mothers they make and they go, you're taking your kids out and going, so how would you store? That is also equally important. So the hours that you are carrying food, the container in which you are storing is also very important. Right?
Isabel, ma'am, your views on this. The healthiest mode of cooking for your baby.
The healthiest cooking way for my baby? Well, definitely, I'm going to your baby.
Well, I think we've stated steam cooking. Yeah, definitely steam cooking. For me, I'm 100% not only because of the BABA stuff, also because for what has been said until now, that's preserve vitamins and small and cook healthy for your baby. No, you're losing it in the fridge. The fresh vegetables and fruits are losing their vitamins and nutrients inside the fridge if you store them for too long before cooking them. So it's actually sometimes better to store them just for one day, cook them, and keep the food inside the freezer, because then you keep the vitamins and the nutrients inside the food that you're freezing. It's actually better than keeping the vegetables and the fruits inside the fridge for 2 weeks and cook them after 2 weeks, because you've lost the nutrients and the vitamins out of it. So yeah, steam cooking, definitely, 100%.
So, ma'am Parina, I have the last question here for you, which is, what if my child is absolutely refusing to eat healthy food? I mean, we all resort to junk food thinking kuch to khai, but what is the way out?
We say my child eats a lot of junk food, or we start giving them, or forget junk. If this age group we are talking about is something as basic as biscuits. Still biscuits खाता है. My child only eats biscuits, doesn't eat anything else. Tell me one thing, was the child introduced to these foods when he or she was born, or did we do that to the kids? Right? We did that for a lot of reasons. Alright? Could be there was no time. So we wanted something very fast. We gave one food once, twice, child doesn't eat. At least 2 biscuits he or she is having, पेट full है, कुछ तो खा लिया बच्चे ने, something my kid has eaten. So we do this, alright? So there could be a lot of reasons. But we started that, and then conveniently we blame our kids when they are not around, saying that what do? Our kids do only this. Are kids supposed to be blamed, or we are supposed to be blamed? Because we are introducing that. Any new food requires at least 5 to 6 trial phases for a child to accept that food. Patience is the key, my dear friends. We don't have to get irritated with anything. I understand we are under a lot of pressure, work, family, a lot of other commitments. But how are you feeding the child? I'm running late. I have to attend something. This is the food.
No. Come on, Papa, open your mouth, eat. This is how we do.
Okay? Either I'm angry or I'm like, I don't have a mic, but I have a mobile. I'm on WhatsApp with my friends. What did we label bad? My child is fussy, he doesn't eat healthy food. Is a child not eating healthy food, or is a child just not eating because you are not feeding him or her right? You look at the food, you have to be dramatic. There is nothing wrong in that. Look at the food, look at the baby, say, wow, it is so yum. Yummy. Kids understand all these things. You try to have it, you say, very young kids. Of course, elder kids, you can talk it out to them. It's very easy. Give them the example of Chota. Give them the example of any character that they're fond of. Popeye the Sailor Man. Why? It's fantastic. Strong. Do we do all this? No. We only complain, my child doesn't eat. But we have not tried enough. 5 to 6 attempts are required, let me tell you that. And then the kid is definitely going to that. Show interest when you feed them. Be happy when you feed them. Okay? You fall in love with the food that you are giving to the kids. And that is why what my first point was, that cook food well. Let it look good. So that you are very, thank you. So that even you are interested in what you're feeding your child. Look your child into his or her eye. Talk to them. So how are we going to do that? This is the only time that you get. But instead, what we do, we give them the mobile or the tab so that they watch their nursery rhymes or whatever cartoons, because it gets the process faster. We don't have time. Now, who has time? 2 hours sit and feed them? No, I can't do that. With the mobile around, kids are like, they don't even know. Mechanical. Muh khola khilaya, muh khola khilaya. Over. Mother is busy with her own work, child is busy doing her own work, and food is just tertiary important thing. No, it should not happen. So 5 to 6 attempts, yes. Even after that, if it so happens that child refuses, you need to change the combination. Alright? Kids do have certain taste choices or preferences. We need to respect that. Okay? If, for example, baby is not eating, you want to give papaya to the child. Now, what are you going to gain out of papaya? Vitamin A, vitamin C, fiber, all those things. Okay? This is just an example. But your child refuses to eat papaya. So you as a mother should know that it's okay. I tried enough of times, 5 times, 6 times. Still, my child is not having. Let's add some other fruit or vegetable into it and make it a little different tasteable. Okay? Try doing that. Still, if the child is refusing just because of that papaya content into it, there are other options which are vitamin C rich, like guava is rich in vitamin C, amla is rich in vitamin C. We have carrots which are rich in vitamin A. So we can opt for other options of food items if at all it's absolutely refuses, which is very rare, but we should be ready about it that there are certain food items which kids just don't take it. But always the combination or a different way of preparation has helped. Okay? If pureed form the child is not eating, then something like small little steamed, like with cereals, you make those small, for example, idlis if you make, instead of plain white idli, add some carrot puree into it, add some spinach puree into it. Show your child, today I've made green idlis for you, today I made orange idlis for you. We added some beet into it, made some, as steamed she said, so the method of cooking also we have maintained, we are giving different color to the child, and different food items have gone. So something which your baby was not eating is been given in an invisible form. We need to fool our baby in that way. Okay? So a simple paratha or a simple roti can be made as green roti, red roti, orange roti, like palak dal ke bana diya, or some puree you have added into it. Alright? This is when the babies are big enough. So when you can give them parathas or rotis or something like that. When very, very young babies, then yes, all these different combinations and all, it helps. But we need to patiently try at least for 5 to 6 attempts for the child. Make the environment right. You be at peace. Whenever new item you are giving or new food you are introducing, see to it that your child is not unwell. Any kind of simple cough, cold, fever also, try and avoid giving any new food ingredient. Second thing, don't give combination in first go. Alright? For example, 2 vegetables or 1 fruit, 1 vegetable or cereal and vegetable combined together. Why do we do that? Yes. Allergic, fantastic. Because this is the time we are not aware, we are exploring. So kid might be allergic to thing A or thing B. If we are combining, we will never come to know. So in the beginning, always for 3-4 days, a new food item should be given. One item at a time, continue it for 3 to 4 days. Once a baby settles, introduce something new. And we have to give them something new. We cannot make breakfast only as nachni porridge. I had gone attended a session there that lady said nachni is very healthy, very rich source of iron, calcium, everything. Every day nachni porridge. The kid is like, utha bhi nahi hai, tab tak usko pata hai now something red is going to wait for me. So no different items, add a different ingredient. How old is your baby? 17 months. Alright. See, we need to understand there are certain foods like vegetables, certain vegetables which are naturally gas forming vegetables. Okay? For example, as you said, broccoli, cauliflower, cabbage, broccoli. These are first also, for elders also. These are naturally gas forming vegetables and fruits. Okay? So those things, it could be that the baby is just 17 months old currently. So it's not to really take in well. Or the way you are making broccoli, or maybe the amount is too much. Like I said, very, very concentrated. Okay? Little bit. So what you can do is, if you're very keen on giving broccoli to your child, you can add it with something else. If you're making some rice preparation or some other vegetables are going into it, add a very small amount into it. See if the little bit the baby has digested. One, when you feel that after giving broccoli your kid has any issues, stop at least for 2-3 days. Don't give. As your pediatrician said, there is no harm. You can give everything. All mothers can give everything. But it's a very individual thing. She might digest gluten, I might not. Right? So as I said, we are exploring. That is why we give one food item, check it for 3-4 days. If everything is fine, we cannot. So see to it that the amount that you are introducing is very little. It should not be only broccoli meal. It could be like a pulao or something with a little bit of broccoli going into it. Fine? If still the child is having issues, could be that your child is not able to digest those gas forming vegetables well. So give her or him a break. Go slow on those foods for a couple of days, and then small amount again you can start. Okay? But we did not get sleepless nights that I want to feed broccoli or I want to feed X food or something, but the child is not having. Yeah.
Only once a week.
Yes. So then, yes, then it should be absolutely okay. Okay. But if the child is unwell and if you feel that this food is anyways baby is not able to digest, so when the child is unwell, avoid those food items. Right? And give something simple that the baby can give. But give it as a part of something else, very small amount to begin with. Then once the baby grows, you can give a bigger portion size of that particular food item. Okay.
Anyone else? Next question.
So I wanted to ask, do we need to give multivitamins or something to our kids like calcium or vitamin D? Because that's one thing where I feel I just did a blood test for my daughter and she's don't really need it. And I guess that's a very common vitamin where because nowadays we don't get sunlight. So any multivitamins, especially vitamin D, to substitute in their diet.
I thank you for asking this question. Fantastic. Now, supplements are one thing. For example, if, as she said, vitamin D drops are given immediately after birth to almost all the babies. Okay? And as again she said, vitamin D is something we are not exposed to sunlight much. Generally, all of us are inside the house, even babies. And exposure doesn't mean that half a minute, 1 minute from house to car, you are like exposed to sun. No, you need proper exposure. We cannot afford to have lower. We cannot afford to have lower values because lower vitamin D values are not going to help you absorb calcium, even if you consume enough of calcium in your diet or as supplement also. So there is no harm like giving vitamin D supplements. Yes, you should be giving. Your pediatrician would definitely ask you to do that. There is no need of blood test also. Generally, vitamin D supplements are given to all the babies. Other vitamins or multivitamins are something which are not needed provided that particular child is extremely having low levels of those minerals and vitamins like iron deficiency or something like that. Iron deficiency is common which we observe. Okay. Other vitamins and minerals from diet are fairly given to the child if the baby is eating well balanced meals, consuming well, which is cooked well. There are no needs. So just to make ourselves feel good that I'm giving supplements, we should not be giving because excess dose will cause toxicity to the child. Because the child to us elders also. So it is always advisable to take a medical professional's help and do it. But something like vitamin D and iron and all that, if the child is not, vitamin D of course it's a different thing, but iron and all of the child is not eating well or the levels are low, you have checked blood test and the level shows low, yes, you should be giving supplementations if advised by the doctor.
Hi ma'am. I wanted to ask in food, which are the specific food which can help, as you said, iron deficiency I faced in my case. Calcium deficiency is the next thing I faced. So what are the foods which we can put like compulsory in the diet to get those things naturally?
So let's talk about iron first. As we all know, iron is very important. Even if you keep having a good amount of proteins in your diet, but your iron levels are low. See the word hemoglobin. We say that hemoglobin levels are low. Okay?
So what is heme and what is globin? You need to understand that. Heme is iron, globin is proteins. Alright, so even if there's protein but there's no iron in it, so hemoglobin levels are going to fall down. So it's just not iron, it's proteins which is equally important. Now when we talk about iron rich foods, what comes to our mind? People just blindly say green leafy vegetables. Right? Yes, green leafy vegetables do have some amount of iron, but when you cook them, okay, it is not necessary that the baby is going to get enough iron after that cooking process. Also, iron needs to be combined with some other vitamins which will enhance the absorption of iron. For example, vitamin C and iron go very well. So whenever you are giving foods which are rich in iron, squeeze a little bit of lime, add some amla juice so that that iron is absorbed well. Now talking about something very basic, not very fancy iron-rich food items is poha. Poha is rich in iron. Do you know why? It's a rice product, right? But why? You say rice doesn't have a lot of iron, but poha has. How? The process of making iron or pounding it is something which absorbs iron into poha. So poha is a good source of iron. Jaggery for kids is a wonderful source of iron. Again, the process of making jaggery is something, it's boiled in iron vessels. Jaggery is one thing that mothers please include in your kids, that minus sugar, we don't want sugar, the processed sugar with lot of chemicals and just to make it look white, powdery thing. No, we don't want that. Jaggery is extremely good, it's a good source of iron. Nachni or ragi, whatever you call it, is a very good source of iron. Alright, nuts and oil seeds have to be included. We should not be partial only towards almonds and not give something else like gingerly seeds, calcium. You said second thing was calcium, right, mother? She spoke about calcium also. So when we talk about gingerly seeds, you understand? Tel jisko bolte hain hum. So this nachni, gingerly seeds, all these are rich source of calcium and iron both. Okay? And when you are giving foods which are rich in calcium and iron, of course leafy vegetables form a part of it. You will be shocked when it comes to leafy vegetable, which has the highest iron content, you know that? You'll get cauliflower at home. You know there are cauliflower greens now, which we pluck and throw in a dustbin. That has highest iron content. But we give that iron to a dustbin.
But how do you cook it? What do you do with it? How do you cook that?
You can clean, take the leaf part of it, add it into any vegetable that you're making, or something like paratha or raita or something like that. You can't make the whole cauliflower green vegetable for the child, of course, but you can add a part of it. Rather than not giving anything, a little you can give. Yes, yes.
With cauliflower leaves, so you can use, you can cook cauliflower leaves?
Of course, yes.
Yes?
Yes.
I didn't know that. Wow. Thank you.
Yes, you can. So that's what somehow, our mentality has become something which is sold in malls and which is like, everything, only those food items we should be buying. It's not that. Everything is in our kitchen. Honey, jaggery. If we want to give something sweet, we should concentrate on that. Dates. Another thing. Excellent source. Alright? So try to include all these things. So salted and sweet, both the preparation using these food items you can make and you can give it to your kids. Right?
Thank you very much, ma'am. We'll be taking the last question which we've got from our app today, which is what are the first foods that are to be given to the baby?
So we spoke quite a lot about complementary feeding. Why do we call it as complementary feeding, right? So, as such, to begin with, or the first meal that we are giving, I would suggest or request you all to start with something which is very simple and not very complicated, like mashed vegetables or vegetable purees, fruits, something like soft cooked rice or khichdi or something like that. Okay? So start with something very basic as vegetables and fruit purees or mashed vegetables and fruits. Gradually move on to your cereals and all that. And then after that you can introduce all new food items and everything.
fruits and vegetables are something which are very easy to go on babies, like, as she said, no gases, no discomfort and all that. So we start with that and then we can go ahead with something, right?
Thank you very much, ma'am. Moving on, we'll be beginning with the presentation for Biaba and the unboxing. I request Miss Isabel to kindly take things ahead.
Thank you. So thank you for all of this information. I've learned a lot also actually. And what I'd like to show you is how to, because all of this is nutrition and health and all that are super important. However, how can we make it fun? This is important because it's not only about a subject which is very serious, and the idea is not to create anxiety. We can make it fun and we can make it creative. So first I will just introduce you, maybe I stand up, can I stand up? Here would be easier because I have to go through the presentation. Sorry.
Put the lights on.
So, I'll try to go fast because actually she's been through every single subject I have in my presentation. Just a rapid presentation of our brand. We are a French company. We are based close to Geneva in the middle of France. We are distributed in 70 countries. We have subsidiaries in China, US, UK, Spain, etc. We were created in 1989, so it's been 30 years we are available. And the company was created initially around the baby cook that I'm going to talk about today, and a few other products. So it's been 30 years the product is available for parents. We've got 100 product distributors who cares. Our brand, what is about our brand? Being a parent is child's place. The whole idea is how we can make it more simple. Because we've heard a very interesting subject today, very serious subject about nutrition. Parents are worried, how are we going to do it? How are we going to handle all of that? It's too complicated, I still have to work, how I'm going to... Hold on, no problem, we are here. We're just going to make it more simple, and we're going to create savvy solutions to make your life easier, okay? All our brand is about design, simplicity and innovation, how to have products which are elegant and with style, sophistication, contemporary shapes, because modern parents want design houses, they want the products to be fashionable and ergonomic for their kids. So design are important, and we work with independent designers to make sure our products look very and simplicity, because it has to be intuitive, straightforward, very simple to use, because you're a parent, you don't want to have to study a 10 pages instruction manual to know how to use the product, okay? You just want to open your box, to press a button, and it works. So that's how we create our products. And invention, because products with patents and models to make sure they bring a solution to you, that they are new, that we bring a new solution to the market to make it easier. So this is who we are. We've got a lot of range. Here we're going to mainly talk about mealtime, but we do a lot of products around also outings with diaper bags and high chairs and bouncer for comfort, toiletry items, and etc. But we're mainly going to talk about mealtime today. Who is our children? The children we address, they're very fun and mischievous child, okay? They have ideas and they amaze you every day. They are the kids that are savvy, so that's why we create savvy products for them. And the parents, they have a very cocooning house. They have created with their husband, newly married. They've got everything very designed, so they want the products that match with the life they want for their family. So introduction into solid, I'm not going to go through that because I think we've been through the subject quite a lot. But the main product, as you said, your baby is going to go from 100% milk-oriented diet. He's drinking milk for 6 months. I said 0 to 3, 4 months, but it depends in the countries. To be honest, I'm not going to enter what you have to do in India the nutritionist knows. Certain countries start food diversification at 4 months, other countries at 6 months. It also depends on the parents. I think everybody has to feel comfortable that you do what you think is best for your baby, because you feel your baby, you know what he wants, you know what he needs, okay? It's just to say that it's a very important step. This step going from liquid milk to suddenly you introduce foodstuff. So it has to be done in the proper way. And the 1,000 day that she's been talking about is super important to create good habits for him. So yeah. Okay, and also there is different stages to respect. There is at the beginning the baby will eat very liquid because he doesn't have teeth, he's not grabbing anything. So like his physical development is at a very early stage. So the food needs to be adapted to it, and from 9 to 12 months until the age of 3 years, you need to add chunks and pieces and everything, because then baby needs to chew. Why does he need to chew? For different reasons: to straighten the jaws, because he's got teeth appearing, for also the language learning steps. It's very important to respect certain steps. So this is why it's important to respect the textures. So yeah, well, we've been through that again. Vitamins and nutrients, no overcooking, texture is important, different flavors. It's important also the teeth development, because at a certain point the baby needs to chew, and you have to make sure you're not always making only puree, because if it's only puree, he's never going to chew, so he's never going to feel satisfied, and also he's not going to develop the strength in the jaws and the teeth to properly articulate some words, and it can even affect the language skills. So it's not only about like the brain and how is growing, the nutrients and all that. It's also the movement development, okay? And food also is helping, okay? Well, this is all food groups, different countries. This is India, but this you already know all of that. So just quickly about the 3 options you have to make your food. You can buy industrial food for supermarket. It's super convenient and portable, super easy. However, it's expensive, it's less flexible. Sometimes you've got mixed food, they don't like something inside, you don't know what. You've been listening to this is clearly explaining that you need to introduce just broccoli first, and then zucchini, and then mix them after. Then you need to teach them first one taste to the other. So the flexibility, they have preservatives, you lose nutrients, so not the right solution. You can do it yourself at home, perfect. Yes, of course, who needs a baby cook? The machines are not adapted, so you're going to overcook. The risk is overcooking is very strong. You're going to cook too much, and you're just going to waste the food, because at the end it's in your fridge and it's very time consuming, and it has supervision needed to make sure you're not overcooking. So the solution we have created 30 years ago is really to have a machine we call BabyCook to make homemade baby food in the proper way, because it's fast, you're not losing time, it's 15 minutes, it's easy to use, it's one button, I will show you how to use it. It's easy to clean, it's only one bowl to clean, so you don't have many dishes. If you use this method, you're gonna have to clean your steamer, you're gonna have to clean your blender, it's a lot of dishes to wash, when actually here you only have one bowl to wash. It's healthy cooking, okay, patenting steaming process, and the steaming process is, here it doesn't show properly, but it's a rotative steaming process, so it means that it's cooked evenly all around the food. Certain cooking process, like this one, just like this one, you cook from the bottom, okay? So this is more cooked than the top layer, because you're just going from down to up. Okay, so risk of overcooking here, losing everything, and here it's not cooked, and not cooked food is not really good to give to baby. So because it's gonna have colics and etc. Not really good for the digestion. So here with the rotative cooking system, it's really cooked evenly. Okay, you also can have a variety of meals because inside the baby cook you can cook meat, fish, vegetables, fruit, starchy food. It comes with a rice cooker, so you can cook rice, semolina, lentils, any kind of starchy food. It's no waste because the size is the right quantity for a baby. So you're just gonna always cook fresh with no waste. And it's not bulky, it's quite small and cute. Also, design is still very important, but it's in your countertop, you already have millions of things. So with this one, it's small enough and durable because you're going to use it forever. You can keep and use to still cook whatever you want after that, or to make some salsa, or to cut some herbs away and everything. Okay, so well, we've been through that, all the habits. Yeah, it was created in 1989. 6 million moms already use it around the world in many countries. We are market leader in every country where we are because the mom just love how she can be creative with, because it's all about having fun also. Huh? It's not, it's a serious subject, but it cannot be boring. So if you want, that's exactly what she was saying. Of course, if you're annoyed about how you're going to give to your baby the food, he's not going to be very enthusiastic about eating it. But if you had fun making it, you're going to have fun giving it to the baby because you want the baby to say, oh, look what I've done today. And it's not only about following recipes, it's about being creative yourself. Okay, so I'm going to just show you, I think, how to use it because this repeats always the same thing. It's easy, 4-in-1, locks nutrients, right texture, it's steam, cook, blend, reheat, and defrost. Inside the same machine, you can make the 4 functions. So in 15 minutes, it's really like steam, cook, reheat, steam, cook, and blend in 15 minutes maximum time. You cook more food, then you can preserve your food inside the storages, and then reheat inside the baby cook, or keep it in the freezer and defreeze inside the baby cook. So it means you want to make it right. You've been breastfeeding for many months, and then you're gonna go and enter the homemade baby food. I want to make it on my own because I'm a super mom. However, if you prepare your food, keep it in the fridge, and reheat in the microwave, not really logical in a way. So this is where you can read inside and defreeze inside, okay? No supervision needed. It's important because you're cooking, you're making your food, and during that time you're just giving the bath to the baby, or you're playing with the baby. You're not just overlooking and overwatching. And if it's not you cooking, if it's your mom, she's not spending hours in front neither. She's gonna do something else with the baby. If you have a helper, same thing. If she's cooking for you, I mean, she's cooking, but she can do something else at the same time and play with the baby instead of staying supervising. Okay, well, even cooking and easy to clean. Okay, so I'm not going to go through that because this is a lot about different age group and etc. We've been through that and we have no time. However, a lot of recipes are available and you have to be creative with also. It's super important. Today I'm going to cook just banana cinnamon, easier, because we didn't want to spend too much time on the cooking side, but at least it's to show you how easy it is. But you can do a lot. So this is like vegetables. Also, this is about the texture, how to respect the speech, at what age, how chewing is important, cucumber, orange and fish, little red soup. Yeah, it has to look good. Also, again, the way it looks is important, If it needs to have different colors, different textures, so the baby is more attractive. It's like toys. I mean, you're not going to give a brown toy to your kid. No, it's got colors because it's more attractive to them. Textures, blah, blah, blah. So So let me maybe go to the cooking. Cook with it so you can see how easy it is. Okay. So it's very easy, but sorry, no, just so I can do it because you know what? With baby cook,
Just try it without the mic once. Let's see if we
like
are
that.
able to get that.
Do you hear me? Yeah. Ah, yes, perfect. Yeah, because so it's as you can see, it's just one bowl, one basket to cook, one blade inside, one body, one spatula, and the tank is here. Okay, the cooking tank. So this is the only part you have to clean when you clean your dishes. That's super easy. So here we actually deep the banana. But mainly to make sure you don't overcook, because overcooking is a problem, we have a measurement explaining like if you cook vegetables, apples. So we have a table with an instruction explaining what level of water you have to put in the tank to make sure you don't overcook. Okay? If anything is not clear, please let me know. So, for example, today I'm going to do banana, so we're going to put level 2 of water inside the tank, very easy. Lock it, put the basket, the vegetables and the banana inside. Close it and push the button. That's it. Does it work? That doesn't work because it is good. So, you see, the light is on and it's going to cook, it's going to steam cook. So it will take, it depends what kind of food you put inside and how much water you put inside. It's going to take from 7 to 20 minutes, okay? 7 to 20 minutes to cook. For the moment we've put level 2, so it should take around 10 minutes. So maybe I'll stop it before the end because we're not going to spend hours showing you how it works. But what I wanted to emphasize and what is very important is that you can cook fruits, you can cook rice, cook semolina, pasta, everything inside the rice cooker. Okay, this is an additional accessory with. So really diversify and touch every single food group. Okay. It's gonna, when it's in cook, it's gonna capture all vitamins and nutrients inside, and you don't need to overwatch it. So maybe during the cooking time, you see it's boiling already. How much do you hear it? Yeah. It's already boiling. So there is a tank inside. The engine is at the bottom. The engine wants the water. We boil it. Here there's a hole on this side. The steam goes out, and the steam will go inside and go from the top and the bottom to make sure it's cooked evenly, to make sure everything is cooked at the right consistency. Okay? So when you cook your food, it's so easy that sometimes not you think your baby is going to eat everything, but actually it's not going to eat everything. You're going to have waste. So the best thing is to store them inside different kind of storages. You can freeze them in the freezer and rewarm them inside the baby cook. So to rewarm, it's very easy. Here I have, this is PP, okay? However, we have different kind of storages. We have glass. This one is glass. Oh, this is liquid inside, so I might not take this one. This is liquid also. Okay, never mind. So this is glass for the moms who prefer to use glass for their baby, safe, etc. Everything is BPA free, of course. So it's BPA free. We don't even mention it sometimes in the products just because it's by regulation. In Europe, you cannot use BPA level 3 of water for freezing and level 1 for rewarming.
So you can then avoid wasting food. Okay, you avoid wasting food. The portions can also be used when you transport the food outside of the house. You go to the grandmother, you go to the whoever, you can transport your food. So it is important also to be very hermetic, to make sure it remains very hygienic in transportation and it doesn't leak out and etc. So storages is one of our very strong point also. We also have this one which are more for freezing. It's made of silicone. So you store, you prepare your food. And same thing. You can. That's the way they use it the most. We actually take our ideas from moms, I have to say. What they do and the way they use it, you see we have different colors, red, blue, green, etc. So they freeze the food. So they say they're gonna freeze broccoli. The first days they're gonna try broccoli. Here they're gonna freeze apple. No, not apple. They say zucchini. Zucchini. They're gonna try zucchini 2 days, and after they're gonna mix the two together, and then they're gonna give the one which is mixed. So they really use it to a small portion. Okay, so I'm gonna try that. And then I'm gonna try this. And then we use one color for vegetables, another color for fruits. So when you talk about cooking, so it's not only about cooking. So you can expect development, you need to help them to take the food, you know. So the sides are quite high. So when they take the food, it helps them to take inside the food. Okay. When we finish to prepare that food, two methods which are quite interesting that we really have a good response from the market, which are bottle warming. Okay, two solutions for two different months. You want something extremely fast and extremely accurate because preparing a bottle is sometimes a lot of anxiety for moms. For them, they prefer breastfeeding because it's easy, at least they don't have to control how much milk should they put, the powder, did they put enough powder, did I put enough powder, is it warm enough, is it not warm enough? It's a lot of anxiety. And the texture, is the texture appropriate for my baby, or is he going to have colics, etc. So this is why we're trying to make products also to solve these anxieties problems. So we have first the BabyChakra that solves the moms who are very worried about the temperature. Best temperature to give to a baby is 37 degrees, okay? However, when you warm a bottle, well, first, overwarming again is wrong because if you overwarm, over 40 degrees, you're going to kill the nutrients inside the milk, and you don't want that. Whatever milk is it breast milk or is it in the middle of the night? Also, it's a time saver because in the middle of the night when they are crying, so and this is where the product is interesting. Is that some kids they don't like water because the taste of the water is sticking on them. So instead of liquid, a lot of moms they use it as a drink. It has the structure of the fruit, but it's only natural fruit, so it's all. That stop. Let's say you have and it's full of nutrients and vitamins. I mean, and it's very few steaming. So, but let's say you're going to keep it today because we want it very liquid, and we want flavors because this is what taste is about. We are talking about. I should have used it at the beginning for the cooking actually, but never mind. We want the baby to learn taste. So I'm adding a little bit of cinnamon, because then they learn a little bit of taste. We use the mixing for the mixing, and it's up. And that's it. Mixing, and it is ready. So, where is that? So, and it is ready. A little bit of adjustment. The texture, mixing a little bit more. That's it. And this is done. So after it's all about adding more water if you need, less water if you need, and yeah, this is really no tracks, nothing, all the same texture. Yeah, want to taste that? You like apple? Thank you. Thank you.
मैम
Thank
बीच में
you.
डिस्कनेक्ट हो रहा है.
Okay, end कर.